What is going on YouTube? SpiralDie here. Today I got another little video for you guys. We are on Newegg, and what I'm going to do is pick out parts for a $500 budget ITX build. Um, my main objectives on this build is to have an upgrade path for the future, um, and kind of still be in a budget of $500 and have an SSD on top of that. I already have the parts all like picked out and stuff, so I'm just going to be kind of showing you guys the parts I have, and I'm going to be actually doing the build sometime in the future on this channel. It's actually ordered and everything, so I'm just waiting for the parts to arrive, and then I'm going to be doing the build. Um, but yeah guys, until I get that, we'll get into the parts here, and I'll show you what they are. Alright guys, so the first thing I like to do when I build a PC is to start with the CPU. And the reason for that is it gives us a nice base where we're going to want our motherboard, or let's say if we went with Intel we would need a Z370 or the Z390 motherboard for overclocking and stuff like that. But for this build we are going with Ryzen, specifically Ryzen 3. It's going to be the Ryzen 3 3200G. The reason for that is because it has onboard graphics, Vega 8 graphics here, and those are that's able to run GTA 5 at like 1080p low settings and get a stable 30 frames. The person that I'm building this PC for, he wants it just for, you know, basic internet exploring and like YouTube and stuff like that. So, and he wants it for small light gaming like RuneScape and World of Warcraft and stuff. So I feel like the 3200G is a perfect match for this CPU for the build. So let's get to the motherboard here. Alright guys, so for the motherboard, I decided to go with the B450 ITX. And the reason for the B450 instead of like the X570 or something like that, well actually the X570s are kind of just too much and expensive right now, so that's one of the reasons why I didn't go for the X570s. But so I went with the B450 just because if you wanted to in the future you can upgrade to, or let's say get a new BIOS and get the B or the 3rd gen Ryzen and upgrade your CPU to a 3rd gen like the Ryzen 5 3600 or something like that. So yeah, that's one of the reasons why I went with the B450 chipset. Along with this has Wi-Fi capable with the NVMe M.2 along with 3600 DDR4 support. So yeah, that's one of the reasons why I went with this motherboard, and I kind of like the LEDs on the side, which I'm not really going to be using that too much just because the case is going to be enclosed and you really can't see what's inside of it. So yeah guys, this is the motherboard I'm going with for the build. So let's get to the RAM. Alright guys, so for the RAM, I kind of want to go for some RAM that's either 3200 megahertz or 3600 megahertz. So let's go with DDR4. Let's look at 3200, see the price on that. And then we'll go with an 8 gig. I only really need 8 gigs on the system. 4 per module here. Let's do this right here. Alright. So for RAM, we're looking at about $50 for RAM, roughly $50. Probably gonna go with some G.Skill Ripjaws just because I know they work really well with Ryzen. I'm gonna go with the black set just because it's $3 cheaper. Let's see if there's a difference between the black and the red here. So latency is a little bit I think it's the same actually. Yeah, the latency is the same. Speeds are about the same too. So yeah, there's really no difference between the Ripjaws and between the red and the black Ripjaws. So I'm gonna go with this black kit right here, the 2 to 4 here, so we get the 8 gigs of RAM. So yeah, that's what we're going for RAM. I'm adding that to the cart right now. We got about $300 on the cart. So the next thing is we're gonna be going for the SSD. So let's pick out a nice SSD here. I want to give him a 500 gig SSD at least, just to store Windows and a couple games on, if that's, you know, what he wants. So either M.2 or no, we'll just do a regular SSD. Thinking 480. I'm thinking this is our best bet for the SSDs. We get a 512 gigabyte SSD for about 60 bucks. So we're going to be doing that. We're throwing that into the cart right now. Alright guys, so next we're going to go for power supplies. Now the power supply, I'm not going to want to cheap out on. I'm going to do 80 plus, 500 watt above. As long as it's 80 plus, I'm alright with. Actually, let's do a 600 watt power supply. Just because, like I said at the beginning of the video, I wanted to do something that I can upgrade. Let's say if I wanted to put a graphics card into this, I have no problems throwing like a 1070 or something into it if I wanted to. So that's why I'm going for a 600 watt. Thinking I'm going to have to go with this one. Comes with a rebate too. So about $55 after the rebate. So this is the power supply I'm going to go with here. 70 bucks, 75 bucks without the sale, but right now it's on sale. So let's add this to the cart here. And that puts us up to $405 on the cart. So what do we need next? Alright guys, so next and finally we need the case. And the case, I'm just going to type it in here. The case is going to be something I need to really work on, and I'm really going to just kind of go through this and see if I can find a nice case for the price and something that's, you know, fairly easy to build in. I don't want like a bigger tower like this, or for like this for an ITX PC. I want something kind of smaller like these. See, I would do the Fractal Node 202, but I feel like this is just going to be too complicated to build in. So I'm thinking I'm going to go with a different case. And when I pick the case out, I'll let you guys know. But right now I'm just going to kind of look around and see if I find a nice one. Alright guys, so for the case, I went with the Cougar QBX Mini ITX computer case here. And the reason for that is because it supports the ATX PSU. And that is a big thing because I did pick out the ATX PSU up to 144 millimeters, I think, or mm. So yeah, and my PSU fits that, so that's basically what I'm going for. And it's a nice little small compact case, not, you know, like a big tower, as you guys can see. It does have one fan pre-installed in there, so that's another plus. And I do have a couple of case fans I can just throw in there for my friend. If he wants me to, I can just throw them down on the bottom or on the side here, wherever they mount up to when I build the case or when I build the PC. But yeah, so that's also a big plus. And this is basically, yep, right there, the pre-installed 90mm fan back there. So basically this is what I'm going to go for, this whole build here. I'm going to add this to the cart and we'll get our final price on this build. So for the build, it's going to be costing around $455. I don't know if that's after tax or not. But yeah guys, so this is the whole build right here. I went with the B450 chipset again, just for the upgrade path. If you wanted to upgrade to the Ryzen 5 3600 in the future and get a different GPU or a discrete GPU and throw that in and play some more games, you could if you wanted to do some more heavier gaming. Just like I said at the beginning of this video, this build was for more toward light gaming, so like RuneScape and stuff like that. He doesn't do much hardcore gaming like Battlefield 5 and stuff. He'll play GTA 5 every now and then, which this APU should run 1080p at lowest settings on GTA 5 at like 30 FPS. So, and he said it was fine for him because he's coming from console, so I guess that's not really too big of a deal for him. And he has a 512 gigabytes SSD here, which should be just fine for some of the games he wants to throw on there. Also, I'm going to be throwing in one of my own 500 gigabyte Western Digital Blue 7200 RPM drives also, so basically only have 1 terabyte space on the computer. So yeah guys, I hope you guys enjoy this computer. I'm going to be putting this whole list here actually together on my channel in a couple days once all these parts come in. So if you guys want to see that, stick around, subscribe, like the video. You guys know what to do. Peace, guys.